All right. Sister needs no introduction. We are super excited to do this. I told her before we started that we felt like we was gonna pull up from the logo and see if it happens, and we are honored to have the Queen, Sister Jemele Hill here. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to be on. Looking forward to this conversation. So thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah. Nah, this was it's perfect. I feel like in a lot of ways, what you're trying to do is in a lot of ways in the same spirit of what we do over here. Our show's called Hood Politics with Prop, and there's a few play on words here. One is I've always felt like Detroit is you guys are cousins to LA. I feel like in some ways it's I was actually talking to House Shoes, again, another mutual. I was talking to him yesterday that I always feel because I feel like the rules in LA sort of just urban, kind of politics, they translate to Detroit. Little stuff where it's just if I turn a corner, this is clearly a block I probably shouldn't be on. But if I'm here, let me just address the OG. What's up, Chief? It's your word. I'll just address you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the rules where we are. Acknowledge that this is not your block. And I am a guest. So I feel what we're trying to do here is hood politics in the sense that that is an actual thing as far as how our neighborhoods kind of interact with each other. But also I feel if you grew up in any of our urban areas and had to navigate this world, you actually understand politics better than you think you do.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
But honestly, I do. And it's funny because I live in Los Angeles now, right?
Yeah.
Been out here since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been coming to Cali for years, to LA specifically for years. And what I would say is the thing that binds LA and Detroit together, beyond Ice Cube wearing the D logo and Boys in the Hood, which had us very excited during that time, is I think it is, I'll preface it by saying people who are from LA, not transplants. Okay.
Talk to them.
There's a very big difference.
Talk to them.
People who are from LA and the people who are, from Detroit, there is a realness that are in both residents that makes the bonding really easy. And I say this a lot, especially now living here and understanding the hood politics of LA is, I have to tell a lot of outsiders, it's nah, it's the transplants y'all don't like. Because trust me, people who are really from LA move a lot differently.
Very different.
Very differently. They don't know Hollywood shit. Most of the LA people I know cool as hell. They're very
And we don't go to Hollywood.
Exactly.
We don't be going up there. I'm going up there.
Right.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's what it is. A lot of us, same thing with Detroit, our families, it was the Great Migration. Our families are from the South. So when you get here with us, we're yo, pull up to the barbecue, say what's up, address my granny when you walk in the house. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a good time. It's cool. It's respect. You know what I mean? And again, the same thing, I said, the same thing I say to the transplants too, is y'all coming here to network, and I'm that's not really how we move here.
No, it's not transactional at all. Yeah,
exactly.
I think people here are in the mindset that that's what LA isn't about. And I was clearly you don't talk to people who are actually from LA, because LA people are not about that shit at all.
At all. We smell it immediately. We smell it immediately. Oh, no, I'm good.
And it's y'all don't do that. And I think it's really helpful, for me in transitioning to LA is having got my sense of LA from people who are actually from LA.
Yes.
And then, on top of that, I live in a majority Black neighborhood. So in LA. Yeah. So I know Black LA. That's what I know.
Exactly.
So it's all those issues that people talk about with LA, frankly, are not really part of my universe, because I don't deal with those issues because I deal with like real Black people. So what can I say?
You could say exactly what you said, because that's what, look, I had nothing to add, because like as a born and raised California native, I'm like, amen to all of that. It's just don't be this is not how we move, you know. And I, again, you saying that confirms what I've always felt, which was like, it was almost like you got here. I mean, don't let me put words in your mouth, but it was like you got here, and then maybe like your brain kind of clicked and was like, oh, I can just do what I've always known to do, which is just be real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. I'm happy that I had the institutional knowledge of LA before I really
Word.
moved here.
Yeah.
And which again, I credit to the people who are from LA really showing
Yeah.
me LA.
Hmm.
And so I think you can find community much easier than people make it seem in Los
Yeah.
Angeles. And I am kind of a little surprised when I often run into Black people who are transplants to LA who talk about how they have a hard time finding community in LA. But I think one of the reasons why that may be, that is the shocking thing about LA that I didn't realize until I actually lived here. I did not realize actually how few Black people it is in LA. Like, I
Now.
think
Yeah.
now it is, right? And so I
Yeah. Now.
think growing up consuming the media about LA, be it Boys in the
Hmm.
Hood, Miss Society, and not
Yeah.
just hood movies, but just generally, you got the sense living in Detroit and in the Midwest, probably period, that LA was like Black as fuck. That was
Yeah.
like, that was the
Yeah.
sense that you got. I was like, oh, LA
I
must be
feel you.
real Black.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got here and I saw the stat that Black folks only accounted for like 9% of the population in LA. And I could not believe it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This
There
is
was a, yeah.
this is
No, you're
wild.
right. And a lot of my friends from like the South and the Midwest feel the same way too. They're like, yo, where are the Black people? And I was like, no, don't get me wrong. Like, there was a time, you know what I'm saying? When, you know, my family got here, you know, at the end of the Jim Crow era during the Watts Towers projects, when you could come buy a house, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so it was a mass exodus from Texas. My great grandma, granny, all her kids, all like the whole family came, you know. So like I said, I'm born and raised here, but they all transplanted in the 60s. But still feels like it was multi-generational because 3 generations came at the same time, but they all came into a very Black space. Like, I'm from South Central, you know what I mean? And anything south of the 10 is just Black, you know what I mean? That being said, I think especially like it's been difficult for me to explain this to a lot of Black people who are not from here, is that like California is Mexico. So like I feel like they're not, you think like, oh, if it's not Black then it's white, and we're like, no, this was
Because white people are a
Mexico.
minority here as well.
White people are a minority here.
Yeah.
You can live your whole life in Cali and never see one, like in weird ways, you know what I'm saying, if you know how to stay where you're supposed to stay, you feel me? But like, but on the other hand, it's like the Mexican influence, the Latino influence is completely unavoidable. Like that is something that, at least for my life, I wasn't outside during the crack epidemic. I was a child, you know what I'm saying? But and during Boys in the Hood, I was a middle schooler. So it's like I still wasn't, those were our big homies, you know what I'm saying? But by the time we were running the streets, a lot of the Black and brown stuff was really just jail. Like, they had worked all that out. You know what I'm saying? So there was still, of course, our rules was still very cool. Like, where I live now was a no-fly zone when I was younger, as far as like what for the Latino community. Like, Black people didn't come over here. You know what I'm saying? But I speak Spanish. You know what I'm saying? So I picked up a lot of the culture. And if you from here, you have to know a little Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the rules. You feel me? But that being said, that element, you know, I always felt like has always made something super unique as far as what it means to really be a Black LA native, is like, you have some, Miss Gonzalez was that was your kindergarten teacher. You feel me? Miss Perez lived across the street. You know Pasole. You know what I'm saying? You know more Spanish than you think you do. You know what I'm saying? Because you've had to speak it your whole life. Not realizing, or like for me, it was like, my wife is first gen. She's first gen Mexican, but like her grandfather's Black. You feel me? So like, but they're from Mexico. Like, he's from southern Mexico. But anyway, I've been speaking Spanish my whole life, but since she's first gen, I didn't realize a lot of my Spanish was really just slang. It was like just
The
cholo.
Spanglish, basically.
Yeah, Spanglish, just like cholo. So when I'm meeting her grandmother, they was like, her cousins are like, bro, your Spanish is great. It's just very disrespectful. Because you just, and I'm like, what? Like, yeah, bro, you don't talk to elders that way. You feel me? It's like walking your grandma's house and being like, "What's up, LG? How you doing, Unc?" Like, you can't talk. You don't talk to nobody's grandma like that. But now I know. Anyway,
But you know that is, I think what you said explained why there are not I'm not trying to make it seem like it's a significant percentage, but there are some black people who move here
yeah,
who are a little uncomfortable with
no, for
that kind
sure.
of dynamic. And the great thing about being from Detroit, and a lot of people who have never been to Detroit or just go by what is
Hmm.
whatever their perception of Detroit is like, yes,
Yeah,
Detroit is percentage wise the blackest city in America. Like it's
yeah.
about 80% black in Detroit.
Hmm.
That being said, that other 20 is a strong other scenario. So like
Yeah.
whereas here, black people were very used to being in close contact,
Yes.
intermingling with Latinos.
Yes.
In Detroit, if you grow up there, you're used to that same close contact, but with Arabs.
Yeah. Like in
Because
Dearborn and yeah.
yes, correct. Because Detroit has the largest Arab population outside of the Middle East.
Hmm.
And so we all grew up on Middle Eastern food. We grew up
Yeah.
on, falafels and all
Yeah.
this other stuff. Like that was part of our upbringing. The ethnic enclaves in Detroit are super strong. So you
Hmm.
have and I think Dearborn is probably the only majority Arab city in America.
Yeah.
They have like a completely Arab local government.
Hmm.
You go there, you feel like you're in a Middle Eastern city. And we grew up in very close contact. And
Right
so
down the
it was
street.
not
Yeah.
uncommon for us to mingle with Arabs, at the stores, at
Yeah.
like different places, much like it is in California. We also have Mexican Town, which is in
Yeah.
Southwest Detroit. Southwest Detroit is pretty much
Yeah.
significantly strongly Mexican, which is why we
Yeah.
call it Mexican Town,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there, you can get some of the best Mexican food outside of California
Okay. I
in
was gonna say,
Detroit.
hold
Okay.
up now, hold up now. Yeah.
That's what I said outside of.
Yeah. I
And
appreciate it.
so yeah, like I think this is why navigating our nuance of race in America is so limited
For
because
sure.
it's so much beyond just black and white.
For
And
sure.
most of us, if you live in any city with any level of diversity that's like remotely big and populous, then you're going to have to navigate these different racial dynamics.
Yeah.
It's every ethnicity in LA. You got
Yes.
Koreatown, you got
Everybody.
like
There's a
I've
little
told
Bangladesh.
yeah, it is. It's
There's a
little
little Bangladesh.
Ethiopia.
Yep.
Yes, it's
Yep.
like
Yeah.
like how specific do you want the racial
Exactly.
dynamics to be in California? Because trust me, I was just me and my husband came back from we went to Greece and we went to Egypt, and I think it was somebody in Egypt, one of our guys. I was telling us, I was like, oh no, believe me, what there is a specialty grocery store, but
Yes.
everything
All of it.
in Los Angeles. We got it. Don't even worry about it.
That's so
So like
dope.
some of these things that these Egyptian items you showing me, trust me, I can get them in LA.
Yeah, I can
Believe
get it. We're good.
it.
Man, dude, that's so dope. Well, that definitely like dovetails into the other stuff we wanted to talk about. Like, I could gush over your hometown, like performing in there, like all the different spots. I've got my like bucket list. Like I played St. Andrews, you know what I
Oh
mean? I played,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I've been to,
The real ones know.
yeah, I've been
Yeah, Los
there, you know what I'm
Angeles.
saying? I got my like, I remember like we did a little interlude, during the set, like I did a little like J-Lib, little Dilla interlude, and like all of the staff kind of like stopped and like looked like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, but anyway, so that, I played in Ferndale, at the, what is it called? Like the Magic, something like that.
Oh shoot,
But
I
it's,
forgot what it's called in
yeah,
Ferndale. But
yeah,
yes,
there,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, and been a Dearborn and was like so present, like pleasantly surprised as like a LA kid to see truly the diversity of Detroit and what it is.
I think was it in Ferndale, was it the Magic Bag?
That's it.
The Magic Bag. Okay, because
Played
I
the
had to think
Magic
about
Bag.
it. I was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and Detroit has such a rich musical tradition. Clearly, most people are familiar with Motown, right? I
Yeah.
mean, and what I love about Detroit, much like LA, is that there's a difference between creating music and creating a sound. And
Yes.
in Detroit, we have created a sound, and
We're cousins,
Motown
man.
was
I'm
a
telling you.
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I was
Jay
like, our
Dilla,
cities are cousins. Yeah.
correct.
Jay
Jay
Dilla
Dilla,
made a sound. Yeah.
he made a sound, And even on the techno music scene, like Detroit for a long time had the largest techno, I don't know if it's
Made it
still the
sound.
case, the largest techno musical festival in the world. We
Yeah.
do, or as we call it, hood tech.
Yeah.
We do hood tech. So like those, my
Yeah.
Detroiters know, like we like house music.
Yep.
We constantly fighting with our other cousins, Chicago, about who house music
Yeah.
really belongs to,
Yeah.
right?
What's funny is like the distance between Chicago and Detroit is not even is still closer than here in San Francisco. So it's funny to us that y'all like still like we're like y'all this would be the same state for us. Anyway, I don't want to waste your
You're
time.
so right.
You know what I'm saying?
It
So
would be us. It would be Detroit, Cleveland, and Chicago could all be inside of
it's still in
California.
California. Yep.
You're right.
All
Yeah.
right. So I want to get to all the topics here. I got way more notes than I need, but it's just like I got such a great brain on here. I want to talk about them all. We want to talk about politics, talk about sports, WNBA, and like I just me and Ian's a producer on the show. We were saying like, any man who would ever like fix their mouth, like my grandma would say, would ever fix your mouth to say that you have like no misogyny in you is a damn lie. Like, nigga, you lying. You know what I'm saying? But there's some shit I just don't understand. Like I I cannot wrap my mind around throwing a dildo on a court. Like I cannot wrap like what the hell is you what is your point, young man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like some people just need their ass beat. Like that says to me, ain't nobody beat your ass before. Cause if you know what I'm saying, cause you would have known by that. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Your thoughts on I guess like the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese thing. But the number one thing is like, okay, if you gonna watch the NBA now, you have to have at least 3 streamers.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mondays, so we wrote it down. Mondays, Peacock. Tuesdays, NBC and Peacock. Wednesdays, ESPN. Thursdays, Amazon Prime. Fridays, Prime and ESPN. Saturdays, Amazon Prime and ABC. Sundays, ABC, NBC, and Peacock. Now, and you got to subscribe to your local team. Like you need NBA TV and you need the specific Lakers package if I'm gonna watch a game. Like, what is y'all? Can you help me math this math?
So, by the way, I would suggest WNBA League Pass it's like probably the best League Pass deal out there.
Word. Okay.
Yeah, I got mine because they were running a special, and I believe it was like $35, 35, 40
Girl, don't
bucks.
talk to me about how you got yours from. They
No,
sent you a
no.
pass.
I'm saying that, no, they were running the special for the public. Like I wasn't the
okay.
only one. Like it wasn't.
They
It wasn't
sent you a
price.
pass. Anyway, okay.
I was like, but it was very cheap.
That's dope. Okay.
And I've had League Pass for a couple of years, so I think I might have. They probably knowing them. They probably raised the price now because of the interest level. But I'll say this: what you're describing is unfortunately the modern reality for all sports fans. You think that's something? Check out what the NBA schedule is going to be like this fall, and about where you have to watch games. It's between NBC, Peacock, ESPN. Like it's the same.
All of them.
All of them. It's like you need all the streaming services. Or if you got one of them Fire Sticks, and you know what I mean by one of them Fire Sticks.
That's exactly what I'm gonna have. I'm like, you think I'm gonna subscribe to all of this?
So,
ma'am, no.
I saw a startling graphic that was on the internet that was actually true, unlike most of them. Is that the cost? Like, if you were a fan and you wanted to pay to see every NFL game this season, the cost for the season would be $1,100. And
what?
1,100 because the YouTube, if you got DirecTV, or if you got the Sunday
YouTube
ticket
TV,
package, and then you got Monday Night Football. That's another, like, it's different subscriptions, right? Because and you have Peacock because they're gonna have games, and you got to have Netflix because they have Christmas Day. So there's multiple streaming services you have to subscribe to, and right now I think there's a lot of fans that are feeling frustrated. But the problem is that frustration never results in them not paying. And sports leagues know this, especially the NFL. They know this.
Oh, you gonna pay.
Because you look at the top 10 most viewed programs, and it's always the NFL games are going to probably be 8 of the 10, if not 10 of the 10. And so sports fans have put themselves at a tremendous disadvantage because they have proven to them that they can't live without them. And so, The WNBA is just a microcosm of what is the reality for every sports fan.
Yeah.
Talk to a baseball fan. They really, I mean,
Yeah, it's the worst.
trying to watch Major League Baseball
I
in
can't watch
today,
Dodger games.
like you can't, but it's also, I think at some point, and we see this throughout with a lot of things that we have in this society, gross capitalism eventually ruins everything.
It is what it is, which is
It
going to
is
be
what
the
it
next
is.
question. Yeah.
And so with Major League Baseball, for example, given the way their package is set up, it's why they can't generate any star power. Because
Mm-hmm.
it used to be you could watch the whole league and you only needed a few channels to do that. Well, now if you want to, let's say you're a Dodger fan, but you like me, you want to watch the Tigers. You want to see the
Yeah.
other good teams across Major League Baseball. The
Yeah.
amount of money that takes now is simply not worth it. So baseball has now been reduced to becoming very regional.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Mike Trout can walk down the street and nobody knows who he is.
Which is
That's why Mookie Betts
bonkers.
outside of LA
Yeah.
can walk down the street.
Yeah. Out
And
here, he walks on water, but yeah,
like
anywhere
here
else.
is different. In
Yeah.
LA is
Yeah.
different. But Mookie
Yeah.
Betts
No, you're right. No, that's a
is
good
why.
point. So, yeah, like the capitalism of it all just looked at y'all and was like, you ain't gonna do shit.
Pretty much.
Right? Like, they're just like, what you gonna do? Like, what you gonna not watch? Dang. That's cold as ice. I think too, like, man, it's you bringing that up makes me actually think about one of the questions I was going to ask later about, like, I know how I square this circle personally. Like, so I'm gonna fillet myself first, but like, my father was a Black Panther. We've always been very revolutionary. I've been in the streets for, in these ICE protests, you know what I'm saying? Anti-capitalist, anti-corporate, you know what I'm saying? Anti-establishment, have been like that for most of my life. Obviously, people who don't understand money think that if you anti-capitalism means you ain't trying to make no money. That's as if capitalism invented making money. That's not true. But there is a part of me that, even our whole network is that our little team on our little Cool Zone Media, we're all like leftists, like unashamedly, like we're leftists. You know what I'm saying? On iHeart Media. You know what I mean? Like on this multi-conglomerate corporation talking this anti-corporate shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just wondered, you know what I'm saying? Like obviously you was done super dirty when you was standing 10 toes down, you know what I'm saying, on some like, I'm not gonna stand for this shit. You feel me? But then at the same time, it's like when you in the ocean, you gotta swim. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just wonder, like, in what ways do you like square that circle? We're, like I said, like we're both on iHeart. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm just wondering, like, how you've been able to like navigate that. Like I said, I know how I do it, but I was just wondering, kind of
So
what
we're
your
all
thought process
compromised.
is.
What you said is very true. We're all compromised because
Yeah.
as much as I despise so much about mainstream media, my entire career has been in mainstream media, and
Mm-hmm.
but it used to be sort of my opinion that okay, the way to shake the system, shift the system is you got to break them from within. That's a lie. And I realized a long time
Mm-hmm.
ago that was a lie. And it was an
Word.
unfortunate reality to confront because I think from an activist standpoint, and you know this, especially given your relationship with the Black Panther Party, is for so long we have parroted the narrative that we got to change the system from within, and that's not what happens. What happens every single time is
Yeah.
that they don't change the system changes you. So you become just like the system that you were trying to change
Yep.
from within. And
Yep.
I am
Yep.
now of the, despite being compromised, is that I still have to use these compromise tools as a leverage for something wider. So even though, yes, we're both platformed by
Yes.
iHeart, big player in the podcast world, it is the most effective way to get out the message at this point. And
Facts.
while I have other platforms that I use that are completely independent of any corporate relationship, the
Yeah.
fact is to move and to radicalize requires money. to do that. And I remember this
At the
was,
end of the day.
yeah, and I remember years ago, I was on a panel with Tommy Smith. You know, Tommy Smith and John
Hmm.
Carlos, who raised their fist at the '68
Yeah, yeah.
Olympics, right? And Tommy Smith,
Hmm.
he really put it into perspective. And he talked about how when they came back from that Olympics where they raised their fist to bring attention to the fact that here they were representing a country that did not respect them, that considered themselves human. And he said when they came back to the States, they couldn't get jobs. They couldn't, economically,
Hmm.
they had a very tough time surviving. And
Yeah.
so it just, while we are in a deeply capitalistic system, it's like there is nothing about being radical that says it requires you to be broke. Because honestly, a lot of how you can move, you
Yeah.
have to use your money as leverage. You know, as a smaller
Yeah.
example, but a recent example, people look at the guys who created South Park and how they
Hmm.
just completely blowtorch Donald Trump, right? The
Yeah.
reason they were able to blowtorch Donald Trump on the same platform that just pretty much
Yeah.
let themselves be extorted by Donald Trump is because they have
Totally.
$1 billion in leverage to do it. And
Yeah.
that's how much Paramount paid them for South Park is $1 billion, right? And
Yeah.
and they generate a lot of money for Paramount
Yeah.
and slash CBS. So the whole point is that it's nobody is saying that you have to be a slave to money or that you should just be
Yeah.
out here
Totally.
moving
Hmm.
in very unethical ways.
Yeah.
But the money gives you the leverage. And
Yeah.
it's an important component to what we do, even in the compromises that we make. Like there's relationships that I have to maintain to do and talk as freely as I do.
Facts.
And I think we're all kind of in that situation and understand that. Listen, I would love to be unencumbered from some of
Right.
these relationships and just
Right.
talk my shit and just that bank account just look like it looked. And it's just
Yep.
like, wow, that's beautiful. But that's not reality. The
Yeah.
reality is to talk your shit in the way that you feel like is effective and that reaches the people you need to reach, you have to be compromised in some areas to keep that machine going.
Yeah.
So that's how I reconcile it.
No, no, same. It's like if you have, your point about like the South Park dudes is like, first of all, they have proven their return on their investment. We've already proven that we're financially viable, and now we have fuck off money. So
Correct.
like,
And
you
they
know what I mean?
literally, and this is probably what bothers me more than anything, is that when the people who have fuck you money never say fuck you. And what I
Yeah,
can respect about the South Park guys is they got fuck you money and literally said
and
fuck you
said it. Yeah,
and said it.
and can and will walk away. One thing I did learn, which you're absolutely right. But like in addition to that, like again, just sort of the combination of all of our worlds, like whether it's sports or music or entertainment or even streets, like I can't if I'm not willing to walk away from the table and just be like, well, fuck you, I don't need this, then we're not negotiating. Like then there's really no leverage. I felt like some of the scariest dudes when I grew up with were the calm ones. Were the ones that very calmly. I have a. I'm not gonna say. Well, I can say his name. My cousin Arjuna. He was. I mean, he's like a Muay Thai fighter trainer now. You know what I'm saying? So he was always like, little boys that just like he naturally buff. Like that was my cousin. The rest of us was rail thin. He naturally right. And I remember I was getting picked on at some point from this like blood dude, whatever, right? We got like kids, right? And the dude was like he was a lot bigger than me, but it's like this is just what it is. If you have to catch a fade, you catch a fade. But anyway, my cousin jumped in the middle of it when it got a little weird, and he was just like, Jemele, as calm as I'm talking right now, he said, "Hey, don't talk to my cousin like that." Like that calm, you know what I'm saying? And it's when you can speak that calmly, because I know, like, boy, I will send you in the next week. Like it communicates that, like, I'll send you in the next week. I know something you don't. So, like you said, that fuck you money is the one that says who works in a compromised system is the one that says, I can go use other tools. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
I think that's largely true because
yeah.
like the leverage often that people have over when it comes to silence, like the
Yes.
silence is usually created by the fact that the person is not willing to walk away from whatever is the situation. So it's like
Yeah.
if you're not willing to walk away, then you're willing to be silenced.
Yeah.
It's the people that are like you can. People always ask me when I was at ESPN and me and my friend and former television partner Michael Smith about our
Yeah.
show and like
Mhm.
why you all seem to be very unapologetic about what you're doing. And the reason it came off that way is because one, that was who we really were. But the more important thing is like we live by the principle
Yeah.
of y'all can have this shit anytime y'all want to come get it.
See,
And until,
talk to him.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that was really our attitude. Our attitude was, you know what? I mean, neither one of us imagined ourselves when we got into journalism as being
Yeah.
television stars. So
Yeah.
it wasn't something that we ever hinged our identity on and said, like,
Yeah.
if I'm not this television star, then my
Yeah.
career is worthless. It didn't mean that much to us. What
Yeah.
made the show was the fact that we were two friends who just wanted to do some bullshit and talk some shit on TV. That was literally it. That was that was our fun. Our
Yes.
fun was, you know, being able to bring our personalities to daily television and talk about sports in a way that was fun and engaging
Yeah.
and not so serious. Like we weren't saving babies from burning buildings. Like we talking about
Come on,
sports. Like
fam. Yeah.
like what are we talking about
We're
here?
good.
Right, we good. Like we won.
Yeah.
Okay, we are, you know,
Yeah.
and so because we had that mentality of they they can have this shit if we can't be ourselves. That's
Hmm.
the best leverage that we ever had being at the network and why
Man.
we had probably more creative freedom than we even really understood.
And what's, yes, to your point is like they, it's crazy how people, how the institution at some point sees the value in that. That, you know, like I said, like the person that's the same way, the person that's speaking really calm, the other person listens and goes, okay, they know something I don't. So you having this like this attitude and like just again these compromise tools, like, and it also like it worked. Y'all just being yourselves worked. You know what I mean? Like that's, I mean, that's why I know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And why, like, I know I keyed in. I was like, they show different. Like, oh, they different. They talk like us. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is like that element of authenticity is like, you know, obviously is what our politics are missing. Is a person that's like, I just feel like, and we're gonna get to this next part, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I don't want to waste the time, but I just feel like if when a person is running for office with not like, you know, astroturfed like authority, but somebody that's like, I really got it out the mud.
Mm-hmm.
I really care about this city. I'm gonna do this work regardless whether you put me in the office or not. It takes $1 million. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, look, dog, I need $1 million, homie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna go get this money from these people. They know who I am. They know what I'm gonna say. They know what I'm gonna do. You know who I am. You know what I say. You know what I'm gonna do. Let's try to get this. Let's try to make this happen. You know, if somebody would just be, to me, I personally like, if somebody would just get on the camera and just say that, like, look, dog, these flights ain't cheap. You know, like, look, flights ain't cheap, homie. The commercials ain't free. Like, you know,
Right.
like this,
I need this money.
I need the bread. Like, what you want me to say? You
Well,
know?
it's funny because what you said reminded me of something that my husband talks about. He and I talk about a lot. And he was like, you know, he sees as one of the major problems that we have in our society is that honesty is not actually rewarded.
Yes.
And because we were talking about this in the scope of dating, actually,
Hmm.
not necessarily our dating story, but just how, you know, he was saying like, well, you know, sometimes men will be real with women, and then y'all
Oh, it's
want to
all
punish.
bad.
It's
Yeah,
right. Y'all want
Dunzo.
to punish us
Yeah, like,
anyway. And yeah, I was like, no, it's not that. It's just that you all sometimes, my experience is that um that yeah, you could say, yeah, you're not the only woman I'm talking to. Cool, that's great. You're
now I
allowing
know.
me to make an educated choice
Now I know.
about whether or not I want to proceed in getting to
Yeah.
know you, knowing that you out here dating other women. But if
Yeah.
I say I respect that, but no thanks, then you get all mad, and it's just like, well, you could
No,
be
that's
honest with
absurd.
me. but I'm gonna
Yeah.
still make a choice that says
Yeah.
like that ain't really what I want to deal with. And
Yeah.
he was like, well,
Yeah.
that's why it's not rewarded. And I'm like, no, the
No,
reward
that's
is not gonna
consequences, G.
always be
Like
you
you
you get to, you get to be for the streets. That's not gonna always be the reward.
what do you mean rewarded? Like she not allowed to have a response, my
Right,
nigga?
exactly. So
That's crazy. Yeah, no, it's funny. I would like to your point, probably the woman I was most like when I was down the baddest was when I met my now wife. Like I was like the bad and at that point I was down so bad, that I was just like, look, ain't no point me lying. Like this was happening right now. You feel me? And I was like,
right,
it's not where I'm always be. You know what I'm saying?
right.
These were the situations that got me to this point. You feel me? Here's what I'm working on now, and obviously, I mean, 15 years later, you know what I'm saying? But at the time, to your point, I was like, dude, I never thought about it like that, but that was one of the most honest I had ever been.
Because you didn't have any choice. You're
I
like,
had no choice. Like, well, you know what I'm
like I
saying?
can't.
Like, I was on tour. Like, this is too much TMI, but I was on tour while I was on tour. Like, my apartment got flooded, and then my roommate was like 2 months behind on his half of the rent. I'm sitting in the rent, but it's only half. So the landlord, like, you're half, and I'm like, fam, you ain't been paying rent. He was like, well, they've housed the flooded house. The house is flooded. I'm like, that don't mean you can't. You still got to pay the, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I done lost my apartment. I got to move back into my daddy house. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
your rap was, I'm homeless and I'm
here's the,
living with my father.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have a master's degree. I'm a college graduate and I live in my daddy's house. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
you
But
know,
anyway,
but the whole point is you gave her
I gave her the
you
option.
gave her the opportunity to make an educated opinion.
Yes.
And so where I was going with that was that often in politics, we don't reward honest politicians. So they don't
Yeah.
really have any incentive to be honest
I love that.
or authentic. And, you know, I can tell you so many stories about politicians who you have opinions of versus how they have come off to the majority, the mainstream on
Hmm.
television and in whatever,
Hmm.
versus how they are in private. And in
Yeah.
private, you'll be like, I need to see this person. I don't need to see
Cool
that
ass
person.
dude. Yeah.
Like what? But I understand that if the
Yeah.
goal of the exercise is to get as many votes as possible,
Hmm.
there are more people who, this is going to sound crazy, there are more people who frankly want dishonest
Yeah.
politicians than ones that do. And
Yeah.
because in America, what sells in politics are narratives and storylines. It's like
Yeah.
we treat politics like we treat sports, which is part of
Yep.
the reason why we're in the situation we're in right now.
Talk to him.
And so we don't reward the authenticity, so they have no reason to give it. They don't have any, like,
Hmm.
be honest with us. Are you kidding?
Right.
A lot of us could not handle if the politicians were actually honest with
Facts.
about. And so
Facts. Yeah.
they instead create narratives around who they are as opposed to appealing as real people. I think Hillary Clinton's a great example.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity. So Hillary and Chelsea Clinton, they had a show on Apple,
Hmm.
and they asked me to be a part of it. So I had a chance to like, sort of spend time with them. Oh, not, they're Hillary and Chelsea,
Yeah.
obviously, but like I see who Hillary Clinton is on social media. And
Yeah.
it was funny because when we recorded the show, we recorded it in DC, and it was at a Mexican restaurant. And it was a bunch of women just to have a conversation about different things, politics,
Hmm.
family, life, that kind of stuff. And they taped us off for Apple. So the waiter comes around and is asking everybody, what they want to eat, people giving their orders or whatever. And Hillary Clinton was the only one who ordered a drink. I was like, well, shit, I'm drinking with Hillary Clinton.
Well, if
If
you
she ordered
drinking,
a
I'm
drink,
drinking.
I'm
Hell,
ordering a drink,
you
right?
better. Yeah.
Correct. And so me and Hillary up there drinking tequila, right? Like,
Let's
we
go.
kicking it. We having a good old
Yeah.
time, right? And I was just thinking to myself the whole time, like, the shame of it is the way our political structure is set up. And I realized, like, there were people, understandably, who had issues with Hillary
Of course.
Clinton and some of her politics. That's fine.
Hmm.
But I also was thinking, like, it's a shame she couldn't be this person that I'm
Yeah.
seeing right now, because the way our political structure is set up, and frankly, the way our misogyny is set up, especially
With
for
the
women,
misogyny set up. Yep.
the way the misogyny is set up, it just doesn't allow for this. And
Yeah.
my it's not even a fear because it's a reality, is that these structures and these systems that have been built in our country are killing us. And I don't think many of us really understand the extent to which that is happening.
Yeah, for real.
The capitalism is killing us. The misogyny is
Hmm.
killing us. The white supremacy done murdered us 1,000
Fam,
times over. And it's
there's
just like, why
yeah,
we keep signing up for this?
yes,
Why?
there is zero. I like, as somebody who talks about politics every week on the internet, it is these very things that gave us the president we got now. Because
Hmm.
it, like, if you was just doing just, I'm just saying, just be the grossest of capitalists, then you would be like, this man is a bad choice for us. Like,
Right?
you not,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? And even the choices he's making, even concerning, immigration and stuff like that, I'm like, bro, this don't, you fucking up the money. Like, I'm gonna be as horrible as possible.
That
You
is
fucking up the money.
the plainest way you could say it. And it's like, I
Yeah.
don't understand why this doesn't compute, because I'm sitting up here and you've seen it all across social media and we've seen it on
Yeah.
the news. Them, and I to some degree, I'm very irritated with the media because they keep doing these
Of
breathless
course.
stories of running to these business owners who voted for Trump and their business is now fucked over. Okay.
Yeah.
But just taking that component of this
Yeah.
and fixating on it for a minute. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You lived, I think there was this one that just went viral. My man lived in Maine. Maine is not, at least if you
Number
live in
one.
Texas and immigration is an issue, I kind of get it. All right. You live in Texas, you right there by Mexico. All right, fine.
Yeah.
You live in Maine. And Joe Biden literally put money in your pocket because the passing of the infrastructure bill allowed him as an engineer to get more work than he has ever seen.
Yeah.
Election came around in 2024. This dumbass voted for Trump because of the border. You live in Maine.
I was like,
Like,
the Canadian
what?
border?
Hey.
Like,
And so now
which
he's
border
out of
we
a
talking
job.
about? Yeah.
He's out of a
Yeah.
job because Trump
Yeah.
rolled back all the initiatives
Yeah.
that dealt with his particular field. And so he's out of a job. I was like, so you sat up there at your big age
Yes.
and did not have the critical thinking to realize, it's
Let
like
that
the
man lie
people
to
that
you.
are voting for Trump because of trans athletes and ain't got no kids and ain't got nobody competing in sports. It's like, I
Yeah.
don't understand this.
And also, like, I'm like, you ever met a trans person? Do you?
And you already know the answer. It's not that many of them for them to have met
There
them.
ain't enough of them.
They
Yeah. So
ain't
I'm
never
like,
met them.
well, you never met one, and like you said, like the only immigrant you've ever seen is from Canada. So, because you live in
Because
Maine.
you're in Maine.
Yeah. So tripping. Okay.
I'm just
I
like,
love it.
I
So
don't.
I don't, yeah, just working against your own
It
self
just,
because you cannot fathom the idea of anyone other than a mediocre white man being the best person for the job. I just don't understand how that
and
works for you.
mediocre is doing a lot of work by
And
me saying
mediocre is struggling in
it's
that
doing a
sentence.
lot of work because I'm like,
And my
I
man,
actually wish it was mediocre. I
my
wish it
man did
was.
last week did the most relatable thing I ever seen when he went up to the roof and just started walking around. Cause I was like, bro, let me tell you something. You know how many resumes I done lied on to begin? So I was like, oh shit, I really got to know this thing. I done landed a book deal. I remember the first time I landed my book deal, I got the deposit in the first half of it. And I was like, oh shit, I got to write the book now. Like it just kind of hit me like, I have to write the book. I get it. To go take a walk up there, bro. Catch your breath. You know what I'm saying? But
Like, I really ran for president. Now I got to govern. What?
God damn. Somebody on the, I saw some lady, like, she was like, imagine being such a criminal, so much in jail, so much in trouble that you got to run for president to stop yourself from going to jail. And then he was like, then she was like, people being mad at me for being bad at the job. Like, bitch, I am a criminal. I don't know how
I'm
to.
bad at the job.
Of course, I'm bad at the job. Okay, we got to move on. I can do this forever. So I want to talk to you about, but I'll give you a chance to think about it. But I kind of want you to explain the Alaska summit with Trump and Putin, but in Detroit terms. like
But in Detroit
like talk to
terms,
like you was talking to a little vice lord. You feel me? Let me tell you what just happened. You know what I mean?
oh man,
And
that is hilarious.
yes,
Because the thing is, in Detroit, while I think you probably have found this that there's always some presence of like Bloods and Crips in a lot
of
of
course.
American
Yeah.
cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not very high in Detroit.
No.
Like I've heard there are some. I was like, I
Yeah.
ain't never seen it, but I heard
Yeah.
there are. But
Yeah. Nah,
I'm not.
y'all GDs and vice lords up there. Nah, we know.
Not Vice Lords is GDs. That's more of a Chicago thing.
Chicago. Yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
Chicago thing. That's not
Okay.
really us. I mean, we have our gangs are related to street. We have neighborhood beefs.
Word. Okay. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
grew up on a street called 7 Mile, right? So like
Uh-huh.
you have people who grew up on 7 Mile who like 7 Mile down,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You have people who grew up on Puritan. We call them the
Mm-hmm.
PA boys, and
Mm-hmm.
Puritan
Word.
Avenue boys. That's
Yeah,
literally what
yeah,
it
yeah.
stands for. So it's like you have more street by street, and gang culture is not. I don't think it's very robust in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly. And so what I would say is that if I were explaining the Adler accent,
You try to talk to a little YN right now. Like
yeah,
let me
yeah,
try to
okay,
explain to
all
you.
right.
So you know what I'm saying? Like so we could the high points who Trump go up there, he trying to like negotiate this peace treaty with the peace with a war where one of the niggas ain't even here. So like which is already crazy. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? Like why is you here in the first place? This and then anyway, and
Well,
then to come back.
but I don't think it would be any different than how you just explained it. I mean, like we
Yeah.
have East Side, West Side in Detroit, right? Like I'm
Uh-huh.
from the West Side, and so it would be like, all right, East Side, and I'm trying to have this beef or trying
Yeah.
to resolve this beef rather that East Side and West Side are having,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm a dude from Southfield. Like Southfield is like. It's
Yeah.
like what? Like okay, but
Yeah.
I think you mentioning Zelensky not being there, so maybe it wouldn't quite be that. It would more or less be like Southfield and the East Side have beef. I'm the West Side,
Yeah.
and I go to the East Side because the East Side and West Side, like they're both huge,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
huge real estate in Detroit. Like
Uh-huh.
it's like
Yeah.
the reason why 8 Mile
Is a
why
thing.
Eminem named it that is because 8 Mile separates the city from the suburbs, right? And
Word. Okay.
so that's why 8 Mile is the
Yeah.
dividing line.
Mm-hmm.
And so the East Side got beef with Southfield.
Mm-hmm.
Southfield is a suburb. It's like it's kind of in a way it's our version of Ladera Heights. Right?
Okay.
It's like
Yeah.
so a lot of the
A
people
little
in
nicer.
Detroit that got
Yeah.
a little money, they all moved to
Yeah. A little
Southfield.
nicer. Yeah.
It's a little nicer, right?
Uh-huh.
So those two got beef. I'm the West Side, and so I don't even talk to Southfield. I just go talk to the East
Yeah.
Side and be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I know we have our beef at times, but I'm gonna capitulate to you, and we're gonna negotiate a peace treaty with Southfield between the two of us, even though Southfield ain't even here." And it's
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, who does that? And I guess Hellcats are big in Detroit, so I guess it's
Uh-huh.
like I as a West Sider, even though I've had long-standing beef with the East Side, I'm gonna let the president of the East Side ride in my Hellcat to prove, I
Yeah.
guess that like
I guess we
I
good.
have the upper hand, even though I look like a clown. Like I
Yeah.
don't, I don't know. I don't.
So perfect.
It is, yeah. I mean, it is kind of startling to see this because like I'm a mid-70s baby, so I'm
Uh-huh.
7,000 years old, and so
Yeah.
I was growing up in a time where the Cold War, like Russia.
Yeah. You don't fuck with Russia. Like we
We
don't fuck with
did
Russia.
not fuck with
We
Russia
don't fuck with Russia. Yeah.
on nothing.
Nothing.
Okay,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the reason why when Rocky Four dropped,
The
okay,
bad guy. Yeah.
and he fought Draco, all right,
Yeah.
and he went over there and liberated some people by beating the Russians'
From
ass. Okay,
boxing.
like,
Yeah.
with muscles. It's like Rocky took 702 shots to the dome, but somehow he won. It's okay. So the whole point is that growing up, we were inundated with propaganda that Russia is an enemy of the United States. So it is wild to see a scenario where our president is sitting up there, um, you know, playing footsies with a war criminal that
bruh, who is clearly going back to my cousin who's clearly not scared of you. Who
not
was
at all.
speaking very calmly. Anki, Trump like 6'9", Putin like 5'2".
Did you see
And
how Putin was looking in the White House? Like he
yes,
there, like I'm on a field trip. Like what? He's
we
smiling.
good. I'm
I
having
was
a great
like,
time.
he probably got some
That
souvenirs.
I, homie came out of this meeting and with it, I if it wasn't so deadly, it would have been the funniest thing I ever seen. Putin got on the camera and was like, "So yeah, we talked. I think we did good. My stance is exactly what the fuck my stance has been the whole time."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so we came to a compromise, which was exactly what I wanted the whole time. And Trump like, we like, speak up, son. You're
He ain't
mumbling.
got nothing
Speak
to say.
up.
He's like,
Well,
okay.
maybe we'll come back to it. We didn't get to the main thing. What now? What now? What now? I can't hear you. You ain't get to the what? And then
Oh man,
invite, yeah.
it's just a staggering level of incompetence. And much like you, I've said, I was like, man, this season of America would be really fucking funny
Crazy.
if I didn't live here.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
If
If
I
I
didn't
would,
live here, this would be hilarious.
if I could skip to season 5, it would be great.
I'd have
But
all the jokes.
exactly. But yeah, man, I ain't never seen nobody like just, bro, like you just like seen somebody just strike out so many times, but then walk back to the homies like, nah, homie, I did that. Like, you didn't. You
No,
did.
it's
You
so
did
it's
not.
sort of the analogy I thought of sometimes with Trump is, and we've all experienced this. It's like there were people that when you were going to the club that you were like, I can't go to the club with that person, right?
Absolutely,
Because
absolutely not. Yes,
we gonna be fighting and it's whatever. But
it's
it's
gonna
like
be a problem.
it's gonna be a problem. So he's literally the person that you go into the club that start all the shit. You wind up fighting. You may win these fights, and then they like claiming victory, like, look how tough we are. Be like, we wouldn't have gotten none of that shit if you'd have just
Yeah,
sat your ass down and just
we
drank your Crown Royal like everybody else,
remember
So
when
he's
we was all
constantly
like,
the arsonist
yeah,
who's putting out his own fire.
absolutely. The fire did unnecessary fires.
Correct.
Absolutely. We had some other political analysts on here once, and they were talking about how like we've never seen anything like this. And then that's when I was like, that's because y'all not from the hood. And I'm like, oh, I know 100 Trumps. You know what I'm saying? But we all had sense enough to not put him in charge.
So in
That was
your,
the
I'm curious about that analogy. So like, what would be the hood caricature of a Donald Trump that you have run into?
so to me, it's this like he's the street dude that's like he's a hustler, he's a smooth talker, but it's almost always cap. Like
Mm,
almost everything you
mm.
say is cap, but if we don't believe you, it's violence because you got some young dudes like that you keep around you that gas you up everywhere you go. It's that same dude that come into the club. He always got 4, 5 dudes with him that listen to everything he say, and the rest of us is looking at the little dudes like, what? That's your big homie. Like he ain't like everything he tell you. Like we were there. Like what he telling you, that ain't happen. And like you said, he the one that like talking big, whatever. And then when the op coming to the club, he's like, hey, homie, the ops is here. I'm finna slide right now. I got this chick. I'm finna slide with old girl right here. Y'all got this? Okay, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. We'll ball out tomorrow. I'm like, you finna what now? You know what I'm saying? It's the dude who like his masculinity is so fragile. Like he's so cupcake that the only way to talk to him is the only way to get through to him is to gas him up first. Like I can't, like that's the only way I could get you to actually like sit down for a second. I got to talk about like, oh, okay, how this show block this show like that you everybody's got to like I'm looking at this kid's face in my mind like we all had to coordinate to say what we was gonna say to him because if the story somehow he gon' because I know what he gonna tell you this when we do this, and then all of a sudden, like you said, then the Vato's gonna come around the corner, and now we got to deal with, well, he said this and this and this, and we can't, because you are a homie. I can't like tell the Vatos like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like you from our neighborhood, so I can't like. Then we gotta pull the other dudes from the other neighborhood aside and say, hey, listen, man, like don't listen to anything he say. Okay, like whenever, just don't listen to anything he say. I know, like just pretend like he in charge, but like listen, he don't listen to nothing he say. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just, and we look like idiots now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, and they looking across at me where it's like, well, I know that's your boy, so I know you have to stick up for him. And it's almost like I look at the EU looking at the rest of America going, I get it, guys. I know you got to stick up for your boy. Like, I feel for you. We're just like,
Well, I think that's like, well, first of all, that's a dynamic breakdown. And I often, I'm fluent in Wire, as in The Wire, the series. And so what
talk
I
to
would,
me.
you know what, Trump is Stringer Bell. And the reason why I say that is because probably one of my
Great.
favorite scenes, I mean, there's every scene I feel like it's my favorite scene in The Wire. But
Brilliant.
what
Yeah.
used to always piss me off about Stringer Bell is, well, one, the way he moved on D'Angelo's baby mama. That's beside the point. The other thing is
Awful.
that
Awful.
was just awful, egregious. The other thing
Yeah,
is
awful. I was like, I have no notes.
terrible. But the thing is,
Yeah.
Stringer Bell was literally sitting up in a community college class, and this is no shade to community colleges because a lot of people got their start there.
Yeah.
But he said he took about 2 econ classes, and then suddenly wanted to run his organization. He talking about we need a quorum. It's like, my man,
What's quorum mean, buddy? Yeah.
what are we doing here?
Spell,
He trying
spell
to
quorum,
suddenly
bro.
he gonna take the Barksdale Empire and run it like Microsoft. It's like, bro, what are you
Sir.
doing? And
Ain't
then
nobody told you no enough. Yep.
thank you. And then he got over his head, and he was always throwing out these. You know, I had to take micro and macro econ
Yeah.
when I was at Michigan State to qualify to get into the School of Journalism, and he
Yeah.
taking the most basic concepts in these
Taking math
genres
100. Yep.
and trying to make it seem like he is Bill Gates. And I'm just like, what? And
Sir, you
then
read the back of 4 books. You read the back of them. You
that was
read the
literally it.
synopsis
And
of 4
so
books.
it's like, hey,
Yeah.
homie, everybody read The Art of War. You're not doing anything special. I got it. You got your copy of the Laws of Power, the 48 Laws of Power, and now you think you are a master negotiator.
Yeah.
And then he gets in bed, of course, with some real G's, which are politicians who can shake you down like nobody's business. He gets totally shook down. And I will never forget when Avon finally checked his ass and was like, that's what you get for playing them fucking away games. Because you got above your station.
Yes.
Into thinking your 2 3-credit courses was
Yes.
going to lead you.
Was going to lead you to, yes.
Like, what are we doing? And so Donald Trump very much reminds me of that type of mentality.
Yeah.
Is
You just bullshit your way through everything.
he just gonna BS his way through everything, and
Yeah.
he takes the very little bit of things that he knows and positions himself often as an expert in things he has no clue on. He does not know if flattery is the way that people can pick your pockets, and they're constantly flattering you, and you too stupid and not
You being
self-aware.
played, bro.
You're
Yeah.
being played. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It seems
man,
to me like the play seems so obvious now, like after two sessions with, or 2 terms with him, that like, oh, that's what the tech bros are doing. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, y'all don't, oh, he's a lick. I get it now. Like, it took me a second to be like, oh, y'all hitting the lick. Oh, okay, well, I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
And it's you know, the stain of this presidency is something that will never be erased. I was like, because I think he's permanently changed how we view office.
Yeah.
He's permanently changed the
he
function
broke
of the president. And while I think it would be hard for another person to win the way that he did,
Yeah.
I do think there is a blueprint there that teaches you something about how to win elections. And
Facts.
you know, I've had this conversation with a lot of Democrats, and I've told them, listen, if I were you all, like the voters, because I say this when it comes to television. Like we have Black people, as you know, like in our community, one of the constant conversations is not having enough variety in Black entertainment. So
Yes.
people, it feels like at least 2, 3 times a year, take off on BET for lack of programming or lack of
Yeah.
whatever, and da da da. And it's like, well, we want to watch more elevated programming and blah, da 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 da
Yeah.
da.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So my constant counter to them, because I had this conversation with a BET executive not too long ago. So BET was actually offered Love and Hip Hop first,
Really?
and they turned it down. And a big reason they turned it down because they knew culturally that they would get demonized if they put Love and Hip Hop on the air.
Word.
And so I say that because I'm like, I guess that was great that you had that sensibility, but you see how big the Love and Hip Hop franchise
Changed
became.
everything.
It
Yeah.
changed everything for MTV. And like MTV, like people don't even realize it used to actually show videos on MTV.
I
They
know,
don't even do
right?
that shit anymore.
Yeah.
So my point is that when we have these conversations about Black entertainment, everybody likes to position themselves like they are watching PBS. And it's like, this
Mm.
can't be possible because I look at the ratings and a lot of y'all watching trash TV, but then
Like
you
y'all
get on
not
the
watching.
internet
Yeah.
and lie about it and act
Yeah.
like, no, I don't watch things like that. Well, how did Real Housewives of Atlanta get 4 million viewers? I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure it out. Like somehow
Yeah.
they got it.
One of
Okay.
y'all lying.
One of y'all is lying. And
Look, 4
so
million of y'all lying. Yeah.
I say this to Democratic politicians all the time. You guys lead with policy, which technically you should do, right?
Uh-huh.
But voters don't care about policy. I know they don't care because every time they vote,
Because
they
if
don't
they
vote on
did,
policy.
yeah,
They care
because if
about
they did, we
if they
would not be
did,
here.
we
Yeah.
would not be here, right? They don't
Yeah.
vote on policy. Like we, to some degree, and this is going to come off as very insulting to the American public. The American public is used to being entertained. We're a consumption society. So what Trump figured out is entertain them and they'll
Yeah.
never question you.
Yeah.
He had not a single one policy. The only thing he could just tell you is I'm gonna deport a bunch of people.
Yeah.
He didn't tell you how that was going to happen. He didn't tell you the cost of how it
He
was
had
going to go down.
ideas.
He didn't tell you
Yeah.
anything, but they
Yeah.
getting the fuck up out of here. That's
Yeah.
all he told you. He
Yeah.
sold them a narrative. He did
Yeah.
not sell them policy. And so what I would tell them is create a narrative. That's what
Yeah.
you sell. It's like I could tell you about you could sell people on the infrastructure bill and all that kind of stuff when people are like, well, what does Joe Biden do? Well, unfortunately for most people, they're not policy aware enough to even understand how the policy impacted their lives. So
Yeah.
stop selling them policy. You
Yeah.
have to realize you're dealing with an underinformed,
Yeah.
politically illiterate populace. And you
They
have
sound
to
like nerds. Yeah.
correct.
Sound like
So stop
nerds.
doing
I
that.
swear. Yeah.
Like, dude, I mean, and I think that's why Gavin Newsom has made this heel turn because he realized like they don't give a damn about whatever policy I
Just
can
don't
create.
care.
I'm gonna just
Yeah.
sit up on here and just speaking all caps and just call Trump every name in the book, and that'll be enough. And guess
Yeah.
what? It works.
It's really smart, man. Because when somebody goes, you stupid, you sound dumb. He's like, do I? Does this not sound presidential?
Right.
It's like you do that to your kids when you start talking to your kids the way they talk to you, and they're like, "Oh, why you sound like that?" You're like, "You tell me, sweetheart. You tell me.
Right.
Is it annoying? Does it feel disrespectful when somebody talks to you that way? Is that how it feels?" Yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he figured it out. It's a narrative,
figured it out.
and it feel like gravel in my mouth to give Gavin Newsom any. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
it feels.
understand. I do.
You feel me? Anybody slick their hair back, you can't trust. You know what I'm saying? But like, but either way, he figured it out, man. And even like on this, we can end here, but like even on the like us going through the new like sort of gerrymandering that we trying to do over here for the redistricting, California has had a great districting system. It was independent. You had to vote on it. That's why our district they're super competitive. You know what I'm saying? And they make sense. Like our districts make sense. There's even understanding in California, like legislature, specifically in LA, like there's black and brown communications. Like they've agreed to keep certain districts ran by certain populations. Like there's an agreement among them to say like that, like as a Latino, we will not run for the Leimert Park Crenshaw district. We won't run for that. So you don't run for Boyle Heights. You know what I mean? It's like, absolutely. We love it. You know what I'm saying? You understand that district. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we've worked this out. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we were saying earlier, but it's like, we didn't at this point, we ain't make the rules. So you could be a nerd and say gerrymandering is wrong. You know, what Texas is doing is wrong. It's unfair and they're cheating. And you could still stand on the sideline and say that's cheating. It's like but so what are you gonna do?
Hey, listen, what did that great urban philosopher Benny Siegel teach us? Get down and lay down.
Get down and lay down.
Get down and lay down.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our time. It has been sealed with the chef's kiss. You get down and lay down. It's real simple. And that's what we got to do. Jemele, thank you so much. Can you please plug all of your socials, all of your shows?
Sure.
Yes.
People, I have a weekly podcast on iHeart called Spolitics. It's about the relationship between sports and politics. And I also have a YouTube channel that I have a lot of fresh content on that and commentary. So, and across social media, I'm Jemele Hill. So I encourage you all to check me out wherever. I'm around.
She's around. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week. Thank you. Woo! All right, now don't you hit stop on this pod. You better listen to these credits. I need you to finish this thing so I can get the download numbers, okay? So don't stop it yet. But listen, this was recorded in East Los Boyle Heights by your boy Propaganda. Tap in with me at prophiphop.com. If you're into cold brew coffee, we got Terraform Cold Brew. You can go there.com and use promo code HOOD, get 20% off, get yourself some coffee. This was mixed, edited, and mastered by your boy Matt Osowski, killing the beat softly. Check out his website, mattossowski.com. I'm gonna spell it for you because I know. MattoSowski.com. mattossowski.com. He got more music and stuff like that on there, so go and check out the heat. Hood Politics is a member of Cool Zone Media, executive produced by Sophie Lichterman, part of the iHeartMedia Podcast Network. Your theme music and scoring is also by the one and only Matt Osowski, still killing the beat softly. So listen, don't let nobody lie to you. If you understand urban living, you understand politics. These people is not smarter than you. We'll see y'all next week.